Meteorologist Matthew East here with you. This is the Christmas Eve edition of the Carolina Weather Video, and big weather change continuing to take place across the region. There's the Winston-Salem Tower camera this morning. Temperature down to 37, about 5:30 when I'm cutting this video. Temperature cooling pretty quickly there along the Avalon Pier web camera, on the Outer Banks rather as well. And that's the Avalon Pier web camera. Temperature now down to 43 there. And let's take a peek at Banner Elk from our friends there, resortcams.com. Temperature down to 17 now in Banner Elk. And certainly looking at a good shot of cold air settling on in. That is great news for the ski industry. And there'll be some really, really fantastic skiing and snowboarding conditions coming up over the next several days. Yesterday, most of these highs in many spots occurred very, very early in the day. Then temperatures fell throughout the day. And again, currently it's much colder. We're looking at temperatures in the 30s and 40s in many spots, 20s and some teens in some mountain locations this morning. Still raining over in eastern parts of North Carolina this morning. That is the lingering rain on the backside of a departing front. That is exiting. Look how quiet it is over much of the central and eastern part of the country. And I'll show you how cold it is in that part of the country as well. So that band of rain was pretty persistent, but it eventually continued to press further off to the east. And I think fairly quickly today across the Piedmont, we'll see a lot of sunshine building in here for this Christmas Eve. There's Futurecast. We look to be in pretty good shape. Clear and very cold tonight. And then sunshine, but very chilly temperatures for Christmas Day coming up tomorrow. Look at these 24-hour temperature changes out there. Places like Chicago and Birmingham, 20-plus degrees colder than at this point yesterday. Tallahassee, almost 30 degrees colder. And many spots in the Carolinas, 20 to 25 degrees colder during the 5 o'clock hour this morning than what we had during the 5 o'clock hour yesterday morning. And here are some actual air temperatures. Chicago, 2 below zero. It is 1 below zero in Kansas City, 7 below zero in Galesburg, Illinois, and of course much of Iowa and Minnesota, 15 to 30 degrees below zero for actual air temperatures. Very, very cold. So there comes that Arctic high pressure building on in. Lots of sunshine over the next few days, but plenty of chilly air as well as we go through the midweek period here, including the Christmas holiday. All right, ski resort area information. Most of these reports here are still from late yesterday. When the new reports come in today, you're going to see a lot of powder conditions listed. Wet snow will be gone. It'll be replaced by some fresh powder. The snow guns fired up at all the resorts across the region. And again, plenty of cold air coming. Futurecast today showing you many spots in the Piedmont, only into 40s. Much colder than that in the mountains. And there's Christmas Day. Going to be a cold one with highs struggling to make it up to around 40 at best in many Piedmont locations. Now, let's go to some of the longer range ideas here. This is the European upper air chart valid Sunday in the afternoon, and you notice that little piece of energy moving along the Gulf Coast there. I didn't put the upper air chart on the Canadian end, but it's much more amplified with the system. Now on the European, you don't get much precipitation once you get west of I-95. However, on the Canadian, it's a different story. A much wetter system. It's just slightly more amplified, so the low pressure is better developed, and you end up with a rain event Sunday afternoon and Sunday night across most of the Carolinas. And it is a rain event. There's your 850 millibar temperatures on the Canadian, well above the freezing mark. But again, the European keeps this mainly in coastal parts of the Carolinas Sunday. The GFS is even more suppressed with this. But I want to talk about some longer range ideas here. Let's go to some of the ensemble charts here. Let's see, this is going to be, let's see if I put that, let's put some 850 millibar temperatures off the ensemble mean. So this is the European, this is all the way out at next Friday, the 3rd of January. And the basic idea here is cold air troughing in the east, and the GFS indicating that same general idea. Now this is the operational chart from next Monday evening and Tuesday morning. That's one good shot of cold air. The GFS has another good shot of cold air around the 4th of January, and then another one at the end of the cycle. That's a big blast around the 8th. That's minus 20 degrees Celsius air mass, but 850 millibars. Down into the Virginias. That's a cold air mass. Now, of course, that's probably way overdone, but the bottom line is it looks like we're going to be looking at a colder pattern in the eastern part of the country. The NAO easing toward negative territory. The Arctic Oscillation definitely headed into negative territory as we get toward January, even the end of December. and P&A easing toward positive. So if you're looking for a pattern that favors some cold air in the eastern part of the country, I think we're definitely headed that way. All right, that is it for today's edition of the Carolina Weather Video. Thank you for watching. Have a wonderful Merry Christmas, and God bless.